some of their pictures. So,
oh, it was a debacle.
It was a debacle indeed, yes. Oh yeah, actually, Al should be coming through. And let's all remember there, out there on Twitch land, not that there really should be any of you there at the moment. This is really all Al's fault. So, during the week, as you take a look at the site and reminisce about your race, everybody remember to give Al crap. Ah, okay, so where the hell are we at? Okay, so some qualifying, yeah. The track went damp here, Al. Now damp, 105 degrees. On track.
It's quite hot.
Yeah, pretty hot, but track is drying out. Got 30 minutes left to go. Nobody has yet set a time. Looks like Alex White is on a timed lap, and he is just starting his timed lap just now. So it took him about 30 minutes to get out and get rolling.
Yeah, so now that it went damp, these guys are, they probably all pulled it back in and just going to take one shot at it, right?
Yeah, well, 30 minutes, so yeah, that's the best they're going to be able to do. Yeah, well, I suppose you could set up to run 2 timed laps. Just take enough fuel in the mediums, you could run 2 timed laps out there. That might not actually be a bad idea.
Yeah, it all depends on what the track is. So, you know, if the dry tires hold up, they can do it. But some of them might be on inters, who knows? And by a lap and a half, they might be ready to cook, you know, melt.
Yeah, well, that's true. I suppose you could take a chance on running 1 lap on the inters, but I would kind of doubt it. But who knows how wet it was before they actually got going now. As we do try to get you some of these pictures, have to do with the caveat here that we don't really know what's going on. Nobody's set a time, so it's hard to get an understanding of who to flash to. But stay on Alex White for a few minutes here, and Alex White, Al, showing some tremendous speed really in the Mercedes in the dry practice session there. So it was at 8:24, I believe it was, for Alex White. Pretty stout time.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah, and surely that was a qualifying type setup, I would think, judging by some of the times I was turning. Not actually bad times really in that 997 Porsche. Gave that a couple laps around here. A lot of fun. Difficult car to set up, but
Let's see here. The fastest time in the race, in the qualifying race last time we ran, was 8:30. Tiago ran at 8:30 in the feature. So it is quite quick. But who knows? That was 3 years ago. These cars have probably picked up some pace since then.
yeah, I was just kind of messing around. I put in a 35, I think, with a big mistake and a little spin. So I would think that the times probably will be down a bit from where they were. But again, the time's pretty irrelevant, really, all things considered, when it comes to the nature of the track. Just about getting around it. I mean, you know, Alex White's going to have a chance for the front row. Aaron Parsons, a few other guys. Salem Montgomery Jr., I would think, as well. And then, you know, there's plenty of guys. The question is, you know, is somebody going to come up and make a mistake, or somebody going to get through these conditions okay?
So based on the screen here, Brad, from your view, the White, looks like he's got some damage on the right side of that Merc, but so far keeping it on track.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It doesn't really matter if you come up with damage at this point. I mean, if you do, you've got to keep motoring on. There's no coming back into the pits. I don't know. I would think these guys actually are very skilled, regardless of, like I say, regardless of the platform or anything else. These guys actually are very good with their racecraft. So I have to think that a lot of these guys would set up for 2 timed laps. Just go ahead and take the extra fuel given the conditions. You know the track's going to continue to dry, and you know the mediums are going to hold up well enough to overcome the advantage you gain with the drying track there, Al. So that would be the way to go, I would think.
You know, White right now going through this very fast part of the track, quite hair-raising as well.
So, Al.
Right before the first carousel. Shoot.
Absolute newcomer, Esteban Tellez. First race ever. Tried to raise him on comms before the race. Trying to get him situated and ready to go. He's the first one in with the time. John Luden's come in right behind him, but Esteban Tellez comes in with the first time of the night. 9:11.6.
Well, welcome to NAGP Esteban Tellez. Way to set the pace.
Yeah, very nice. Now, I have to say, I was watching Esteban's, some of his practice laps there, and he's having a little bit of trouble there. But by and large, is able to keep it on track there, so that was nice. So, Alex White here now. Before you cut out a little bit, Al, I was talking a bit about the final third of this track here, and this is where Alex White is at now. Big bumps in this section here. A few areas you can't really push for speed, but very intimidating to a lot of drivers with the way it meanders around here, goes back and forth, and picking up those brake markers and acceleration zones can be pretty tough, Al.
Yeah, he seems like he's doing all right. 16 seconds up in the second split, so looks like he's got a pretty good lap going.
Yeah, well, you know, not too bad, I suppose. He might be able to live with this one. But, as you mentioned, looked like there was a little bit of damage there, and the conditions are a little tricky. So he has made a mistake at some point.
It's definitely going to hurt his straight line speed here coming up. Especially that final straight, for sure. But
yeah, so the
very
Mercedes
technical part of the track he's on right now. So gotta really nail it through here. It's very difficult in the wet, of course, but looks like he's getting through there okay.
Yeah, he is, and now just a couple corners here. He'll be on that long straight. Meander a little left here, and then a couple right-hand corners, and the long blast down to the final couple before coming onto the Nürburgring start-finish straight.
GP.
Yeah. So, a rather disappointing season last season for Alex White. As you may or may not recall, there in season 25, had a bevy of disconnects to begin that season. Really never righted the ship enough to challenge for that championship. But
no doubt looking to. Oops, sorry, Brad. No doubt looking to rebound. I was going to mention that before I checked out, but yeah, very disappointing. Had several disconnects, and you know, definitely looking to make a mark here this season.
Yeah, so far so good on the connection, and if you can make it about another 10 seconds here, he's going to put in a time, so that time will be good enough to at least get him into next week's event here. But let's see if it's good enough for the front row.
Yeah, I think he's there.
Yeah, a good 16 seconds ahead of the pack, as you say. So far so good for Alex White now. 6 times only turned in so far, Al. Got another 22 minutes left to go in this session.
Well, 40. So not a bad time. Puts him in a provisional pole. Greg Myers currently in second with an 8:56.3.
Yeah, and as mentioned many times before, Greg Myers not too intimate with the theories of practicing on circuits, but in this particular case, I don't know that a lot of practice was necessarily needed. In the conditions and the track, you combine those two, and really it's just a matter of some of the veteran experience coming into play, and Gregory Myers has got plenty of that. So taking a look at Connor Swain now here in the SRT Viper.
Yeah, championship winning car last season, the Viper. Connor had a really good season last season. Was very competitive at a lot of track.
Yeah, he takes it, looks like he took it off a little bit, but still motoring around. Pick up a little bit of damage, no doubt. And, oh, let's see here. I wanted to get to some of our standings. So, Andres, as you may or may not recall, it was Andres Prieto coming away with that Season 25 championship. And you know what? He is not in the server tonight, Al. Don't know where Andres is, but he's not here.
Well, I see him on the timing and scoring.
Oh, scratch
He's
that.
near the bottom. He hasn't set a time yet.
I found him. Yeah, so Andres Prieto actually on track. Not on a timed lap at the moment, so coming under the bridge now, and he is going to begin a hot lap. That is going to give him 20 minutes, and if he's set up for 2 timed laps, he'll get both of them in, but otherwise he's going to get 1 attempt here with a steadily increasing track temperature. Track temperature now up to 107 degrees, Al.
Yeah, on that back strike now, Prieto, well, my pitches are a little delayed until I get back in there. That back straight, very long, gives you a lot of time to reminisce where you screwed up. And on that lap before, which is what I usually do when I'm back there, and curse at myself.
Well, you're absolutely right. It does prepare you for a lot of pressure thinking about, okay, God, I've got another 8.5 minutes or however long it is to go here. Oh boy, I got a long way to go, and the pressure really mounts way before you even start this this circuit. So it's called the green hell for a reason. I think that's part of it. But having said that, it is Andres Prieto. Now he's got a Corvette in front of him who's likely on a hot lap as well. But you know, this Ginetta, very highly touted, as you may remember, Al, it was Salem Montgomery Jr. fighting for that championship all the way to his last breath, more or less, in that Ginetta. So very strong car last season, should be again this season as well.
Yeah, very good car. A few other guys have checked in here. Chris Moses with a 852, currently second. Ian Jolicoeur, 856.6. Let's see, Kevin Miller, Calderon. Matt Taylor, way back, had a bad lap, 916, so he's going to want to get another one in.
Yeah, no doubt. But I tell you, any time is a good time. That's going to really advance your position, because there are going to be guys that are not going to get a lap in, as mentioned. So putting up any type of time at all is going to be really beneficial. It's not necessarily in a 2-hour event next week. Oh, Andres is going to pull it off. He's going to reset, come back to the pits. I think he was looking for a little bit of open track, but it's no guarantee he's going to have it if he goes out for his final attempt here. So a bit of a gamble here by Andres, I think, Al.
Yeah, it is. He's probably a bit frustrated. Just didn't time it correctly. And, sometimes that happens. You have to either try and get ahead of the... If you know you're faster than the guy on your out lap who's ahead of you, you're going to have to hope he lets you by, or just deal with it. And he couldn't deal with it, so he pulled off.
It's really tough to deal with at a track like this, obviously, because you can be stuck behind a guy for so long, but like I say, it's not hugely critical for next week's feature event, but it helps a lot the further up you can get. And it comes down to not setting a time, or setting a time and being, halfway down to the field. Well, halfway down to the field is preferable. So three laps around here. In the qualifying race,
that was
anything could happen.
That was Montgomery Jr. in front of him, so definitely no slouch on track, but still he wanted that little gap, a little bit more of a gap.
On board with Aaron Parsons now. Really fun part of the track here, and I'm not going to make any attempt at all at the name pronunciations. I wouldn't know what they were anyway. But Aaron Parsons in the Aston Martin this time around, taking second place in that championship last season. Couldn't quite eclipse Andres' points lead, but that was a hell of a championship we had last season, Al, with numerous drivers in it right up till the end. Aaron Parsons coming up a little short. Chris Moses just a little shorter than him, third place last season. So it was a real season of veterans coming to the fore after Salem dropped out of that championship late.
Oh, let's not count Parsons out of this. He is a demon around here, really fast. And he's got a fast car underneath him, so look for him to be up near the top of the timesheets by the time this lap ends.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, the track is still reading damp, but no question about it. The track will continue to dry. So it looks like Alex White is not currently on a timed lap. I guess he thinks he's going to get another one in. And trying to see where he's at now. I think, yes, I think he will be able to get another lap in. So Alex White will get another timed lap. Aaron Parsons will have to be set up for 2 timed laps from this point if he wants to get another one in. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Aaron Parsons is very good around this place.
Still only 9 guys who've set time. We got 30 guys in here right now. Only 9 have set a time lap.
Exactly. So Esteban now we see has jumped up into the 4th spot. Chris Moses. Did you mention Chris Moses before? I'm not sure if you did, but
I did. He was still second. Juan Monroy has just jumped into 3rd with an 8:55.2.
Yeah, so they're shaking up a little bit. I have to say, I'm a little surprised. Alex
Palacio as well. 3 guys in the 56s: Palacio, Myers, and Joe LaCour. Sorry.
Yeah. A little surprised Alex White is that far out front of these guys. But anywho.
No. That could be an issue of, you know, he gambled on a particular set of tires. Some guys might have been on inters. He went out on dries, so could be something like along those lines.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah, so Aaron Parsons navigating through the final third of this track now, and you can see the spray still coming up a little bit off the rear end.
Just missed that split time. Don't know if you caught it, but
no,
Houston checks in into 3rd with an 8:54.7.
8:54.7 by John Houston. Okay, well then we know that that Aston Martin has pretty good speed. John Houston, of course, being Aaron Parsons' teammate. All right, Al, I was hoping to be on the main broadcast here. I'd be able to do this at some appropriate time, but I'm going to have to take a break for 60 seconds. I'll be right back.
All right, go full screen before you go. Bingo. All right, so Parsons nearing the end of this lap. He's going to be coming up on the carousel here quite soon. This part of the took it a little wide, but big downhill section, all flat out through here. Oh, and he takes it off. Very uncharacteristic of Parsons, but he's going to finish the lap. Wow, right near the end of his lap. That's got to be incredibly frustrating for him. He's got a BMW right on his tail. Looks like that's. Let's see who that is. One of the M3s, can't find it at the moment for some reason, but oh, sorry, Esteban. Oh, actually, that's Mike Monahan behind him. So Monahan may get a toe off Parsons here down this back straight.
Yeah, okay, I'm back. What, is that some damage on Parsons? What happened?
Oh yeah, he took it off right near the end of the lap.
Oh no.
He's on the back straight, yeah. I was just mentioning he's got to be super frustrated. Ryan Schleife checks in the 2nd with a 46.
Okay.
Dispatching Moses down to 3rd. So Parsons, let's see what happens here.
Yeah, it's going to end up being a 9.01.
Sure, White was watching that. Must have
not the exact.
Let go a sigh of relief when he started to take it off. Although I missed the split time, so I don't know where he was at. But looks like it's going to be in 20 seconds off.
Yeah, so yeah, no better than 9th place for Aaron Parsons because he is done.
Yeah, 11 minutes left. He's not going to be able to get it out.
Salem Montgomery Jr. now, Al, has clocked in with an 8:46, so the times are starting to drop just a little bit. So, well, we got just a few minutes here. Salem Montgomery Jr. just finished up his lap. Let's go ahead and run him down real quick, Al, and see who's running where and see if we can't reminisce a little bit about some of these guys and some of their exploits. Ryan Schleife, we saw him just turn his lap in to go to P3. Chris Moses, of course, longtime NAGP veteran. running that Viper, and in 4th place. He's on a hot lap. He's going to get a chance to turn this lap in if he keeps clean over the course of the lap. Ian Jolicor is now slotted into the 5th spot. John Houston, we saw him.
Nice lap for Ian. I'm not sure how crazy he is about that Cadillac, but looks like it's working okay for him tonight. I do not see Marty Uren on timing. Do you, Brett?
1 second.
No, I don't see him on there, so I'm not sure where Marty is tonight.
Yeah, don't know. I suspect that Ian will come to terms with the Cadillac pretty well. I think actually it's a pretty solid car, pretty stout. Handles actually pretty well, decent grunt as well. So maybe not the best top straight line speed, but pretty good out of the corners. Good handling car. So Aaron Parsons' teammate John Houston, once again in that green Aston, taking another lap. Juan Monroy, saw him a little earlier. Looks like he's done. He is going to do no better than 7th on this grid. Esteban Palacio is slotted 8th in the BMW. Gregory Myers, saw him. He is on a hot lap and will be looking to improve from his 9th position. Aaron Parsons, we saw him finish up his lap. He is currently 10th. Will do no better, and likely will actually slide back a little bit. John Luden in 11th, Al. Now it looks like he is done. He is not on a hot lap now. He is certainly not going to get 2 laps in from here. So John Luden in the on the outside looking in, Al.
Yeah, a little surprising there, but I wouldn't count those guys out. You know, it's still they still have a 33 lap qualifying race. You know, some of these guys may have trouble in front of him, and he can find himself up starting near the front.
Yeah, and we should make mention again really quickly that, of course, that these guys will be setting the grid for next week's feature event with a qualifying race to follow, all except for the top 2 qualifiers who will get to start from that front row in next week's feature event. So, John Luden there in the Mosler as well, it has to be said. So this car has not put in an appearance for a while, but always been one of my closet favorites for a while, as a few know. Kevin Miller now in the Lamborghini in the 13th spot. And let's see here, Sergio Calderon. Now he has turned in a time, a 9.08 and on and out lap, so he's going to have a chance to improve from there as well, Sergio Calderon. And something tells me, Al, that Sergio Calderon could be making some strides forward this season. I don't know what it is.
What's that?
I just get a feeling.
What's that feeling? Sorry, you cut out.
That was that. I think Sergio Calderon's got a chance to make some strides forward this season, Al. I think he's ready.
I think so too. It's been a long time coming. So.
Yeah, well, it's been a couple seasons. I think he's ready. I'm seeing. I liked what I saw last season. The points results weren't there, but the finishes started to get there on a more consistent basis. You know.
Just should mention Trussler has clocked in with the 4th quickest time. Connor Swain a 5th. Kurt Chandler had some trouble. He's in last right now in 19th, right behind Omar Gomez in 18th.
Great. Well, we'll get to those updated times here momentarily. Esteban Tellez, newcomer, in 16th. We saw him set the very first time of the session. Matt Taylor's in 17th. Omar Gomez is in 18th. Curtis Chandler, 19th. Lou Mascarelli sits 20th at the moment. Looks like he's running the C7 Corvette this time around. David Poole, hadn't mentioned him. He is also in the Mosler and on a timed lap. So it looks like this is going to be his final opportunity. Now, I'm not seeing too much spray coming off these cars at the moment. A little tiny bit. But I think it's definitely drying out there. So Mike Monahan now in the 22nd position. Jaime Moore 23rd. Brian Story running the sister Lambo in 24th. And I'm in 25th.
Yeah, so watching David Poole, he's, you know, you mentioned that about the Mosler. The Mosler has won races, won championship. So I'm not sure why people give that car a, why people are so down on that car, but it's been successful here.
Yes, it has. I think, if memory serves, the car did not get some upgrades when some others did, and I think it got put back behind, but it got a little help the season before last. And it didn't pop up on anybody's radar last season, but it was pretty vastly improved in this broadcaster's opinion last season, but nobody pulled the trigger, but it's out there again this season, so I'm interested to see what David Poole and those guys in 05 Motorsports can do with that puppy this season.
Yeah, it's definitely a sleeper.
So it's Alex White. Now he's coming around to complete his final lap, and as he does that, we're going to get a sense of who's running where on track, and try to get you caught up here on who's going to have the best opportunity to advance their position here in our final 5 minutes. Now remember, we're going to have 3 laps of qualifying race to follow here, so the action not nearly done yet. Very much just a prelude here to the fireworks to come. So main event due up shortly as Alex White comes off now the final corner, and did not see any of his split times. It looks like he may be ahead of his time slightly. Coming in now to an 8:37 flat for Alex White, and that's going to be the new mark to beat. So you mentioned Al, Mike Trussler up there in the 4th spot. Very nice time for Mike. Connor Swain as well. He has obviously put in his practice to 6th. And now let's see where some of them are running. So Chris Moses now provisionally in 7th place. He is nearing the end of this circuit. Oh, and he has made a mistake.
You mentioned Montgomery Jr.'s in 2nd right now in that Corvette. So might want to check on Andre, see where he's at.
Oh, okay. You know, we will flick, I think, to Andres because he should be... Yeah, okay, so he's got a couple minutes left in his lap here, so plenty of time to get it in. And actually, the 2nd split time will be coming up before too long here, so we'll check that out right after the carousel. Coming here to a very high-speed left-hand sweeper. A lot of guys will be downshifting into 5th for this corner. Don't know if the Ginetta will be doing that or not. Coming to...
I don't know if he's going to get it in, Brad. It's going to be nip and tuck here.
Yeah.
350 left.
Yeah, yep. He should be able to get it in.
And he's got about 3 and change. It's going to be close.
Yeah, his time now running 5.5 minutes. He's got 3 minutes. He should be fine. Whoa! Very aggressive into the braking zone here, into the banking, this little carousel section here, and that split time will be coming up here in just a few more corners. A couple high-speed left-hand flicks here. Got to watch the braking on the 2nd right-hander right here. Make sure you get it slowed down in time for this little bit. Tricky entry there as we come up to the timing split now. He has 1.6 seconds up on the pole place time at the moment is Andres Prieto, so he's going to see that flash on his screen, and now the pressure really mounts, Al. Can he hold it together?
Wow, let's see what he can do here. That's quite impressive in the Ginetta.
Esteban has managed to advance his time a little bit, and I just want to look to see if there's anybody on a timed lap close to a sector time here that we can see.
Esteban Tellez has moved up to 9th.
He has indeed, an 8:55.1 for Esteban. See David Poole now coming to the line, Al. Oops, sorry. And he has made some mistakes out there. It looks like he's going to be off the mark and come in with a 850 flat, Al. Good for 7th at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to bump him up to 6th if he's at 850, right behind John Houston.
So Andres Prieto now working a very difficult, tricky sector here. 6th gear and then down to 4th for a little blast right, and then a very tricky left through another bank section, then back onto the big straight, Al.
Luden has improved to 3rd, Brad.
Oh, John Luden now to 3rd with that 8:46. The times have come down a little bit toward Alex White, but it looks like only Andres Prieto is going to have the opportunity at the moment to try to dislodge that Mercedes of Alex White off of that top spot.
All right, here we go. He's going to come up on the main straight. I'm a little lag behind you, Brad, but Got the timing scoring up here. I'll keep people abreast of what's going on.
Yeah, Jaime Moore coming to the stripe. He's going to be well off the mark. Andres his teammate, of course. Looks like most other cars are in the pits, so it's down to Andres Prieto and just a few others to try to advance their time as Andres Prieto sets up for just the final couple corners here. Very tough braking zone. Wanted to leave it as late as you possibly can. Looks like he has managed it well, Al. I think this is going to turn out to be a pretty fine lap. I think he's going to do it. Yeah, so indeed, Andres Prieto does get the job done there. 8:34 to take the top spot here as qualifying time runs out.
Outstanding lap by Prieto.
Yeah, it really was in the changing conditions, and that was his only timed lap of the session. Mike Trussler coming in currently 6th in the provisionally 6th, looking to improve. He does improve to 3rd place for Mike Trussler in the closing seconds, Al.
Great job by Mike dispatching Salem down to 3rd. I got to tell you what, hat tip to Prieto for leaving it as late as he did. You know, it kind of went up to Alex White there. Alex could have hung on as late as possible, but Prieto had, you got to imagine the track just got a little bit more dry with Prieto out there right at the last second, nipping White there for pole.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, Connor Swain actually has a chance to get this in the very final closing seconds, trying to move from his provisional 10th position. And he is going to pick up a couple spots. So Connor Swain has moved up into 8th, and I think that's going to be it. Esteban will not get his lap in, and all other drivers are accounted for in the pit lane. So that is going to do it. A few drivers advancing their spots late, but really it was the Andres and Alex show, Al. It is Q2, by the way.
Yep, jumping in now. Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably what we expected here to start the season. Both those guys picking up where they left off, and no surprise there out front.
Yeah, and it's hard to say how much of this Andres Prieto versus Alex White time was a matter of the car or the track conditions. So does the Ginetta handle this track that much better, or were the conditions just a little bit better for Andres Prieto, turning his lap just a little later? I don't know, but I suppose if we get a dry race coming up, time will tell. However, our track conditions here in qualifying 2 are the same, of course, as they were in qualifying 1. But that'll change here when we move over to our warm-up session and prepare for the race. So once again, it is a...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, whatever the conditions are for the warm-up is what it's going to be for the race, so we'll keep an eye on that. But Prieto and White have locked in their starting positions for next week's 2-hour feature race. Got a 30-minute qualifying race coming up, and that's going to set the grid for the remainder of the field. So that's going to be based on guys' finishing positions here tonight. So Prieto out to the early championship lead, 1 point up on everybody else in the field.
Yeah, and I have to say, you know, I have to take back my remarks about the amount of times turned in qualifying. We had 30 guys in that session. A few more have joined here in our second, our qualifying 2, where guys had the option of coming in who got here late or whatever. But 25 drivers out of those 30 got times in. And actually is -1 for me because I was in there too. So there's really 25 drivers out of 29 got a lap in. So. Pretty impressive really here by this field, and now the rubber is really going to meet the road, as they say, here for our 3-lap qualifying race.
So for those of you watching, tuning in, maybe some new guys out there watching, you're checking out live coverage of GTR2 here on Monday nights at North American Grand Prix. It's the GT2 series coming to you live from the Nordschleife. Round 1 of a 10-round schedule, and really picking up where we left off last season. Some really fast guys out front, a couple guys, Prieto and White, but I think I have a feeling it's going to be the gap's not going to be as wide, Brad. I don't know for the race. What do you think?
Well, I'm not sure. those times are pretty impressive up toward the front. I would think that Mike Tressler, Sam Montgomery Jr., Aaron Parsons, we saw him make a mistake. That really buried him back in the field. The reason I was mentioning I was surprised to see Alex White that far out in front is because it was pretty surprising. It makes me wonder if these guys have how much work they've put into the setup or getting around this place, or if they're putting their focus into next week's feature event. I don't know, but I was a little surprised to see the spread in time. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, this track really highlights that, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it does. It's going to put the spotlight of preparedness upon you. either you are ready to go or you are not. But some guys really do live for that challenge, and I would say all of those guys within the top 6 anyway are all right there. And you are absolutely right, anything can happen in the race, and the very best of these guys can still make a mistake, and suddenly those positions are all kind of different. But we do know, no matter what, it's going to be Andres Prieto and Alex White starting toward the front for next week's feature event, barring any major penalties they may happen to get. Oop, and there's cars on track. Let me switch the view. Sorry, folks. Ordinarily, it would be Al, of course, running these pictures, and I wouldn't have to worry about it, but there you go.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, but looks like I dropped again, so looks like I'm gonna keep it from I won't be in there, but I'll be alongside you here, Brad, watching your broadcast and keeping you up to date on where guys are on track. So
okay, well, sorry about that. It would be really great, by the way, if you did happen to get that figured out. That'd be really awesome. I just thought I'd mention that.
Well, we are running an antique salmon for some reason. I don't know. I don't get it. It just doesn't like. It doesn't like to cooperate with me sometimes. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a weird deal. So these guys are going to have another 3.5 minutes of warm up here, and then they are going to line up for their 3-lap qualifying event. Now, it should be noted these guys are not going to have to run a full tank of fuel. It'll be almost close, but not quite. I'm not sure what kind of fuel usage they get around here, but I should think it'd be something
it's going to be 3 lap.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's going to be 3 laps roughly, depending on the condition, and a little bit shy of the 30-minute mark. So.
Gotcha. So I'm going to guess it's going to be something like 10 liters a lap of fuel for these guys. So maybe a little more. It's not going to be a full tank regardless.
Oh, well, we got some time here. I'll let you know what's coming up this season in GTR2. We have, well, let's see here. So, got all kinds of problems here to run. Alright, anyway. So we got quite the lineup this coming season here in GTR. Starting it off, well, obviously here at the Nordschleife. Then we're going to move to Hockenheim in 2 weeks for round 2. Round 3, we're going to be at Road Atlanta. We hit the States. Round 4 is going to be at Mid-Ohio. Midway point of the season is going to be at Indianapolis. Then we fly out to the Middle East for round 6 at Dubai. Round 8's going to, I'm sorry, round 7's going to be in Bahrain. It's going to be a first time there. Round 8, new track for the GT2 is going to be at the Bud circuit in India. Then round 9 at Zolder, and as always we finish it off at Spa for Super Pole and then the 2-hour event. So pretty diverse mix of tracks this season, Brad.
Yeah, it's great. I'm really looking forward to it. And you know, it seemed a little tough for us to get back into the swing after such a layoff. We haven't run a broadcast now in Oh, it's got to be a couple months now, but oh, I don't think it's been so bad for the drivers. I think, you know, these guys more or less are pretty ready to go. I think they've shaken off the cobwebs pretty quickly, so I think they should be in fine shape, not only for this event, but yeah, for the rest of the season, the rest of the way. And there's no reason to expect it's not going to be as exciting a championship this season as it was last.
No, these last several seasons have been incredibly tight. I mean, it's pretty much come down to the wire. The last race for a number of seasons now, especially in the team championship, that's been, you know, up for grabs up to the very end. And same thing as last season. I mean, it's incredible how consistent a lot of these guys are, and the strategy involved, and the weight gain that goes into it. We saw Andre play the weight game late last season. We were very surprised to see him do it. It was the first time he did it, and it paid off for him at Spa.
Yeah, that was a shock. That was very surprising. But in any event, yeah, congratulations to him, and I'm sure he enjoys his hardware. And our time has run out on the warm-up period here, so we've got just about another 30 seconds or so, Al, and we're going to line them up and get this show on the road.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so that got some good tracks in there for the upcoming season. That Bood circuit, we've run that in the past. That usually leads to some great racing out there. Road Atlanta's a big crowd favorite out there.
Yeah, Road Atlanta's a popular circuit for these guys. Yeah, the Bood circuit is we ran it one time in GT1. It's got that's a pretty unique track. It's got a very hairy final exit. You gotta really be on the top of your game there on exit, but it's a lot of fun though.
Okay, well, we're going to kick off our qualifying race here for season 26. From the pole, it's going to be Andres Prieto. Alex White's going to line up right next to him in second. Mike Trussler is going to start third. Salem Montgomery Jr. put in a nice lap for fourth. John Luden will take fifth. Ryan Schleif is in sixth. Gregory Myers put in a fine time for seventh. Connor Swain's going to take eighth. John Houston is in ninth. David Poole took 10th in that Mosler. Chris Moses finished 11th in that qualifying session. Ian Jolicoeur is going to start 12th. Esteban Tellez, our new driver here at NAGP, is going to line up 13th. Juan Monrey's in 14th. Esteban Palacio is in 15th for another season here in season 26. Teammate Mike Monahan lines up right next to him in 16th. Ooh, and somebody dropped. That was somebody inside the top 16. Aaron Parsons is going to start 17th. Kevin Miller 19th. Brian Story 20th, Matt Taylor 21st, Omar Gomez 22nd, Curtis Chandler 23rd, Jaime Moore 24th, Lou Mascarelli 25th, Rodrigo Triana 26th, he's down the order quite a bit, David Rowley 27th, Sam Rolfe's going to start 28th, Iggy Shiorda starts 29th, John Wathen 30th, Chuck Carter 31st, Jared Keane 32nd. So, Al, a sim about a decade old.
Triana came in late.
And they just can't stop coming.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's pretty amazing, to be honest with you.
Well, I tell you,
these guys may be the only ones left.
well, the racing is too incredible for us to leave it as well, and I'm happy to be here for another season 26 with you, Al. We're gonna kick it off in grand style here at the Nordschleife in about 4 seconds.
All right, very exciting, Brad. Good luck, everybody.
And there they go. It was a good start for Andres Prieto. Looks like Alex White will have to slot in behind, but the battle right now is over that third position. Mike Trussler being challenged. So it looks like, barring a little bit of bumping and grinding, looks like most everybody's through the first couple corners clean, and we are off and running. Ian Jolicoeur making a move in the Cadillac on the outside of the BMW. Mike Monahan. Oh, it looks like a Mercedes has gone off. trying to, I don't know my liveries. It was Ryan Schleife starting from the 6th position, so Ryan Schleife making a mistake and get back in the field now. BMW off. I believe that is teammate to Mike Monahan, Esteban Palacio.
Yeah, tough break for both those guys early on here.
So
still plenty of time to make up some ground.
Yeah, sorry, Al. So now it's the top 10. Looks like they have started to run single file. It was Mike Trussler who won the battle over third. So Mike Trussler will take over that third spot right behind teammate Alex White, still hounding Andres Prieto as they about to finish up the GP circuit.
It's like Greg Myers off to a good start in that out.
Yeah, Greg Myers slots into 9th at the moment with a charging John Houston behind. And I have to say I'm pretty impressed by John Houston's speed around here and poise at the Nordschleife so far. So we'll see how he can do over the course of these 3 laps.
Great start from Trussler. Got out ahead, did his job, got out ahead of Salem. And doing well for himself as they head into the Nordschleife.
Yeah, take that left-hand turn, and then the fun really begins. So John Luden still in that 6th spot, looking to take advantage of Connor Swain now. Connor Swain started, boy, didn't he start 8th?
Yeah, I believe he was 6th.
Ah, 6th. Okay, so picking up an early spot. But we want to get you up here to the lead for a moment. As you can see, Alex White is really putting the pressure on Andres Prieto early here. And Alex White perhaps saying that qualifying speed might have been pretty good, but I've got a little bit more here in the qualifying race.
05 Motorsport with a great start, running 6th and 7th right now.
Boy, they sure do. And that Moser is actually, it's not terribly great over the bumps, it has to be said. So for those guys to be running so well on this type of circuit bodes well for them, I think, over the balance of the season.
See the top 2 already starting to check out from the rest of the field.
You know, they are starting to
hanging up.
Yeah, sorry, Al. They are starting to check out, and I wanted to stay on the battle here for just a couple minutes as they head into some of these kind of treacherous areas, it has to be said, where some of the braking zones can be very difficult, and pushing into those braking zones for speed over another competitor can lead to some disaster. But these guys handling it very effectively at the moment, as Alex White now very close.
Trussler's starting to gap Montgomery Jr. a little bit, so progressive run continues here.
Yeah, he sure is, and I was going to mention the same thing, actually. Salem Montgomery Jr. slipping off just a little bit here momentarily. I want to keep an eye on just a couple more corners here, and we're going to take you through the field and find out where the action is.
Well, it looks like David Poole has made a mistake.
So David Poole
showing up 19 spots down.
Oh, so David Poole has come to some type of bad end. In the meanwhile, it is Aaron Parsons now up into the 12th spot. After a relatively disastrous qualifying for Aaron Parsons, we saw him make that mistake. He is now putting pressure, of course, on Ian Jolicoeur in that Cadillac. Both those drivers trying to move up from their positions, but really finding it tough going at the moment, as will be the case here at Nordschleife. Heavy traffic out.
Jolicoeur running in 11th. Look for my timing and scoring to update.
Chris Moses is slotted in 10th position as we see a BMW make a mistake. I believe that's Mike Monahan. And it's going to cause Chris Moses some consternation as he has had to make some evasive action there. Got caught up on the grass to stay out of the back of that near spin from Mike Monahan in the BMW. So Chris Moses losing out on a couple spots, relegated to 14th. And it's the battle, John Houston versus Greg Myers. These are for some pretty serious top spots here as we close in on top 7. Looks like somebody has almost made a mistake in front of them. A lot of tire smoke going on in front, but didn't see any parts flying, so I guess they're still on track, whoever it was. So as I watch this battle here for 7th between John Houston and Gregory Myers, Al, I have to say I think John Houston is showing a little bit better pace than Gregory Myers in his Audi R8 at the moment.
Yeah, Houston's really put in some work. He's been looking strong. And this is going to be an interesting battle to watch if these guys can keep it together.
Yeah, so it's Alex White still trying to hound down Andres Prieto. He is now a couple more car lengths back than he was, but of course those gaps will open and close just a little bit here and there. Still well and truly...
Wathen showing up as a DNF.
Wathen, DNF? No way!
Looks like he snuffed out somebody's campfire.
No!
I should have picked him.
Well, that's unfortunate for John, but no doubt he'll be back next week and stronger than ever. Well, let's get you caught up quickly here with a little bit of who's running where, because this is going to get mixed up pretty quickly. It is still Andres Prieto out in front with Alex White chasing right behind. We're going to get back to that battle momentarily. It's Mike Trussler actually in the 3rd spot. The timing and scoring is a little messed up at the moment. Salem Montgomery Jr. will go ahead and call it 5th, even though it's actually 4th. Connor Swain in 6th. And he has now dropped back from Salem Montgomery Jr. quite a ways, so that gap has opened up a bit. Bigger gap back to Gregory Myers. So top 6 well and truly out front of 7th place at the moment. John Houston just a couple car lengths farther back than he was last time we looked. In Jolicoeur, and Aaron Parsons now fighting tooth and nail over the 10th spot. And it's going to be, oh, Aaron Parsons having to take evasive action for his teammate John Houston. Ian Jolicoeur is going to go by, and now it looks like the Viper of Chris Moses is going to get by Aaron Parsons as well. So some what-to-dos there. That was some tense moments for Aaron Parsons. I think he managed to keep it off the Armco, but in any event, Ian Jolicoeur and Chris Moses now through. So Aaron Parsons back to the 11th spot, teammate John Houston 12th, and Juan Monroy is in 13th behind those guys. So some wild moments. That looks like Esteban Palacio has slotted into the 14th spot. He is being chased pretty closely by Jaime Moore and his sister Janetta. Teammate Andres Prieto, of course, out leading this event. Looks like Jaime Moore has picked up a little bit of damage. Rodrigo Triana now also heavy damage on that McLaren to the left-hand side, but still out there soldiering on. And a big gaggle of cars here behind Brian Story. Looks like it's going to be Brian Story, newcomer Esteban Tellez, David Rowley, John Luden, all in the mix here, coming down this long backstretch. And it bears watching, I think, this for just a couple seconds, because something's going to happen.
It was a great start for 05 Motorsports, but it's turned disastrous as Luden now back to 18th and David Poole 24th.
Yeah, and we can, who knows what happened, but whatever it wasn't good. It is, well, as we watch him here through this last couple corners, everybody dicing pretty hard, but giving room. And they are going to come out of that corner the same way they went in, so can't really speculate on what happened to the 05 guys, but yeah, boy, they started off last season, as you may recall, Al, only taking 6 points through the first 2 events of last season. Came all the way back to end that season 26 championship, but once again struggling. So John Luden is in that 16th spot, is now Brian Story to 17th, Esteban Tellez now 18th. So a few goings on there. Matt Taylor is in 19th, and a little further back, Iggy Ciordia running the 997R this season. In 20th, Jared Keene. Ooh, big slide there from Jared going into turn 1. Lou Mascarelli is in 22nd, followed closely by Ryan Schleif. So Ryan Schleif a bit back in the field as well. Chuck Carter running another sorry, go ahead, Al.
No, I was just going to say Schleif's early mistake is off really put him back to 23rd.
Yeah, has not helped at all. And Omar Gomez is in the garage along with Kevin Miller. And David Poole is coming down pit road with heavy damage. So the front splitter on that Mosler gone. And David Poole's woes continue. So that
so Prieto's first lap of 2 seconds quicker, over 2 seconds quicker than White.
Yeah, we're going to check in on that battle here momentarily as we finish up our running order here with Curtis Chandler also coming into the pits with some heavy damage. So Corvette will be getting some repairs, and we will hope the best for him on the next 2 laps of his journey. So, beginning lap 2 now, Andres Prieto, and already, Al, we're just a couple minutes away from halfway in this event. Long laps, but the event itself reeling off pretty quickly. Andres Prieto still out front.
Yeah, he's out front. He's increased that gap a little bit over Alex White, but White's still hanging on there. He's not going to fade. Still, just about a lap and a half to go in this race, Brad.
Right, yeah, just a couple more minutes and we'll be at halfway. So it's interesting now. I think that the gap has opened enough where you have to say that it is Andres Prieto with a slightly better speed at this moment. If Alex White did have better speed, he would be up there closer instead of those couple seconds back. So Andres Prieto looking pretty sharp here, and these guys very skilled. So these gaps aren't opening or closing due to any irregularities or anything else, though. You know, there's always a possibility they will run into some random lap traffic. Now, as we look through the timing and scoring a bit here, it is the top 4 that have really separated themselves now. Salem Montgomery Jr. 9 seconds back of race leader Andres Prieto, but quite a ways up over 5th place. And now we see a mistake in front by Mike Trussler. That is not quite going to get Salem Montgomery Jr. that position, but obviously the Salem Montgomery Jr. pressure is having a bit of an effect here on Mike Trussler.
Yeah, I think Trussler's just, you know, he's running a great Super Pole qualifying race here, and you know, let's be honest, he doesn't find himself up this far and, you know, ahead of the field quite often. So I mean, he's got pace. He had some good runs last season, also suffered some disconnect issues, so who knows where he might have been, but he's going to find himself under a lot of pressure here momentarily from Salem. You can see him really sliding that car.
Yeah, so he's having a lot of rear end problems, really stepping out, and that is one of the quirks here on this Mercedes. It can be a little difficult at the front end, so typically you do have to loosen it up as much as you possibly can. Salem Montgomery Jr. now has made a mistake and rubs off the Armco. That's going to do no good for him in terms of straight line speed, so that was possibly a costly mistake. So those two guys still running within a second of each other, and we'll check back on that battle momentarily. It looks like there's a few other good battles going on as Ian Jolicoeur now has joined a fight with John Houston with Juan Monroy just behind, so quite a group here still going at it.
You know what, Brad, I just want to touch real quick on Prieto out front, and you know, he's in a car that Salem had a lot of success with last season, as did Kirk. And, you know, that team picked 14th out of 18, and that was up for grabs for anybody. And they all overlooked that car for some reason. And Prieto, I think, got a little lucky there with that pick this season. And he's showing the rest of the field what's up tonight.
Yeah, well, that's a really good point, and I hadn't thought about that, but you're absolutely right. Those guys did pick quite a ways down the order. Now, this GT2 car pack is so strong. The cars are so evenly matched. A little track dependent, yes. One car may have a strength over some others. Oh, as we see now, I think that is John Houston who has made a mistake. But by and large, all these cars over the balance of the season, they're going to be... Oh no, Esteban Palacio made a mistake himself. So yes, but that's a very good point. I hadn't thought about that, and I tell you, Andres Prieto is going to be dangerous in that Ginetta now. One thing I guess to follow up on that a little bit, Al, is we saw Salem run that Ginetta pretty well, even when he had weight on it. Winner's success ballast weight added. So maybe a good performer even with the weight.
Yeah, he proved he could drive that thing with weight, so definitely a solid pick there for Andre so far. His teammate running in 11th, so Jaime Moore having a good run as well. Looks like Chris Moses might be out of this one. He's looks like he's done.
Oh, well, that would be a pretty recent development. Chris Moses was battling pretty hard not too long ago, but this group we're watching here, they just continue to make mistakes and swap positions here every other corner, it seems like. So this battle rages, but it hasn't been settled yet, as nobody can quite gain enough of an advantage to pull away and gain a little bit of breathing room.
Prieto has fallen to second, Brad, as Alex White's taken over lead. Prieto about a 10th back.
Oh, so that you would think have to be some type of mistake. And Andres Prieto closing very quickly down the long back straight here, very quickly. And boy, that Janetta either has some incredible top speed, or that Alex White looks like he does have some damage on that Mercedes. So I don't know what's going on, but Andres Prieto back out in front. You know, it's a possibility.
He definitely has damage.
Sorry, Al. It's a possibility they had some contact. Maybe Alex White was letting him back by.
I see a little flash of the light there, so that could be the case. There is some damage to the right side of White's bend.
Yeah, I suspect that may have been the case there, but pretty exciting happening. Now these guys, there are some points on offer here. So pole position, Andres Prieto grabbed that. That's going to gain him a 1 championship point. You know, possibly very important point, but oh, as Andres Prieto now makes a bit of a mistake, Alex White is going to take the line around the outside. He is not quite going to be able to accomplish that pass, but 3 points on the offer for the winner here in this qualifying race. Second place will pick up 2, and third place will pick up a point as well. So not a ton of points on offer, but this is also a race you want to go ahead and finish. So no need to be taking huge chances here. Of course, a lot of pride at stake as well, Al.
Yeah, you got to wonder if Andre might be feeling the heat here a little bit, overdriving a little bit and making some uncharacteristic mistake.
Yeah, well, if there was some type of contact or something happened, somebody was banging off some Armcos, that can flat rattle a guy, no matter who it is, and take a while to get the concentration back up. So
I apologize. I said Chris was out. Looks like he popped that back up on scoring, showing up in 8.
Okay, good. Yeah, there he is now. So those gaps have opened up, but it's still the fight here over some of these top 10 positions going on. Still tooth and nail. So John Houston, last we saw, he was in 13th, still there at the moment. Matt Taylor and John Luden right behind. They are involved in their own battle too. And let's take a real quick look back here a little bit through the field. Brian Story now showing up in the 16th spot, Alan. That's a pretty good run for Brian Story here. One more lap to go for him.
Yeah, good run for Brian. His teammates out, it looks like, but Brian putting it, keeping it together here.
Yeah,
that
so
last lap of White was a 8:24.8, so Prieto checked in with a 26.6. Nobody else in the 20s, from what I can gather.
Wow. Yeah. So
got some guys in the 920s.
Right. Wow. So pretty staggering pace by those two, and yeah, the rest of the field's going to have to get it figured out if they want any hope at all for crossing the line first next week. So it's Iggy Ciordia now in the 17th spot, beginning his last lap. Esteban Tellez, good showing here, Al, for Esteban in his inaugural running. A little bit of damage to that BMW, but 18th nonetheless. Ryan Schleif now.
Yeah, it's a bit nerve-wracking, actually. Sorry to jump over you, Brad. Yeah, he's got some damage on the car, but it's his first race here with us, and you know, the nerves it might be getting the best of him tonight. Who knows?
Might be so. Ryan Schleif still in 19th. He is languishing back still. Lou Mascarelli. Last time we saw Lou, he was running somewhere in the 20th position, so pretty close to that. Chuck Carter has picked up a few spots. Actually, last we looked at him. Though Jared Keene now, he is on his last lap in the 22nd position. David Poole, not yet quite to his last lap, in 23rd, so his struggles continue. Curtis Chandler, we saw him getting splitter damage fixed in the pits. Curtis Chandler 24th, and that's going to do it for your runners on track. Now, okay, so here we go. It looks like Alex White now has gotten back in front of Andres Prieto, and it doesn't look like he's getting the position back this time, Al.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. We didn't catch it, but Prieto looks like he made another mistake to allow White by. Prieto got a little bit of damage to the left front of that Ginetta, but you know, White's got some significant damage as well. So that Ginetta may have some top end down that back straight. It may come down to that if Andre can close the gap on him.
Yeah, so these guys are quickly running out of real estate here. Andres Prieto is, now that he finds himself behind Alex White. And boy, Andres Prieto will start from that pole position next week regardless. But there's, like I say, there's lots of pride on offer here. And we'll see just how speedy that Ginetta is on that back straight here coming up momentarily. As the battle here for 10th rages on. Jaime Moore now in the 10th spot with countryman Juan Monroy just ahead of him in the McLaren. So it is a Cadillac Ginetta McLaren battle here with, I believe that is, yes, Esteban Palacio putting in a nice effort here in 12th. And these are pretty good positions you'd want to start from next week. Somewhere in the top 10 would be pretty fine with these guys, I would think, Al.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you start in the top 10, it's you know, it's going to be impossible to stay out of trouble for some of these guys. I mean, one guy, it's really not much room for error. One guy makes a mistake, you get in the back room or something like that. But if you can keep it clean and keep your car dent-free, you should be okay. I got to make mention about Connor Swain. What a great run he's put in. Kind of poor last lap, but man, he really has improved, especially last season. He's carrying it over to this season already. So nice job. Ian Jolicourt doing a little wall sampling there, Brad.
Yeah, so it was exactly that. You started talking there. I couldn't jump in, but Ian Jolicourt making a pretty serious mistake here. And I think his run for 10th place may be over because that is going to bring on some serious damage to that Cadillac. And Esteban Palacio is not going to let Ian Jolicourt get too far ahead of him, I don't think. So Esteban Palacio will definitely be looking for that 11th spot by the time we reach the line. For these guys, it's going to be in about another 6 minutes. They have pulled away.
This race quickly winding down. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, no, that's okay. They have pulled away here from 13th place John Houston just a little bit. Yeah, you mentioned Connor Swain. I want to get back to that quickly. So is Connor Swain well out in front now of Gregory Myers, and his pace may not be quite up to snuff of the Alex White and Andres Prietos of the world, but I tell you, it's plenty good over the likes of Gregory Myers and Aaron Parsons. So you're absolutely right. And tremendous speed by Connor Swain. And ooh, Esteban Tellez is just showing up with an engine DNF, Al.
Ouch. So running it a little too lean, it looks like. Well, one battle you might want to take a look at, Brad, is that Greg Myers-Parsons battle. They're only about a second and change apart.
Yeah, in fact, I think, well, they aren't close at the moment, so there must have been something that just happened. Yeah, it looks like Aaron Parsons has made some type of mistake. They're about a second or so apart. But yeah, no, that fight's still very much on. We want to get up here as we hit the back straight. Oh, Andres Prieto now back out in front of Alex White, Al.
Wow, we're bringing you all the action tonight.
We're missing all the action perfectly. This is great. But it wouldn't be an NAGP TV broadcast without missing all the important bits. So I wanted to get back to the to flash back to the main straight to see what would happen between these two as they're about to finish their qualifying event, and suddenly we find Andres Prieto back out in front. I don't think Alex White is going to catch him here, Al. I think Andres Prieto is going to take the advantage here at the stripe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Brad. It might be close here at the end. This straight is gigantic. Well, he's creeping on him. Just not close enough.
Well, it looks like Andres Prieto will cap it off. This has been a very intriguing race. I think not only throughout the whole field, but for these two in particular, both these guys have made some mistakes and very uncharacteristic. Boy, they're going to want to clean that up here as we finish off now. The battle between Mike Trussler and, of course, Salem Montgomery Jr. lost the name for a second. Mike Trussler is going to win that battle for third and pick himself up and his team a championship point, but Salem Montgomery Jr., fine run out for fourth.
Yeah, definitely, and outstanding job by Trussler to get that extra bonus point. So, good job for those guys.
Yeah, so Connor Swain will take that fifth place home. Gregory Myers looks like is barely going to edge Aaron Parsons. He did manage to close that whole last lap. Took a run at Greg there late. Couldn't quite get it done, so it's going to be Myers 6th and Aaron 7th. So nice run for Greg Myers as well. Didn't put a wheel wrong, I'd say, all the way through the qualifying period to the end of the race. And Chris Moses now, he got into some trouble early, was back into the 14th spot. So to move back up to 8th, Al, pretty good showing, really.
Yeah, rough start for him, but nice rebound.
It's going to be in Jolicoeur just over Esteban Palacio at the line for 11th and 12th. John Luden is going to come home in 13th and salvage a little bit of pride for 05 Motorsports. John Houston comes home, it has to be said, a bit of a disappointing 14th. Matt Taylor now coming home to 15th. Brian Story currently still on the back stretch in 16th. So ordinarily what would be on any other night a points paying position for Brian Story, but tonight will only be a 16th place on the grid for next week.
Well, let's see if we can bring up Andres here, have a word with him.
Please do.
Hey Andres, you copy Alan Brad here on the broadcast booth.
Hi guys, how are you?
Hey, good, thank you.
Yeah, doing well, Andres. That was an interesting fight between you and Alex White up there at the front. So, what are your thoughts and feelings heading into next week's feature event based on what you saw here in this qualifying race? Do you think it's going to be as close in that feature event as it was here tonight?
Oh yeah, well, I think it's coming to optimizing every corner on this track because, you know, I've practiced a lot and I cannot find any more speed, so it's really going to get down to the one that doesn't make any mistakes. You know, I make 2 of them, but Alex made the most important mistake there at the end. So I think it's gonna come down to the one that makes less mistakes. So yeah, that's my thought.
Yeah, no, we saw that both you guys had some damage to the some error damage. How bad did that affect your top end speed?
Yeah, I had some damage, but it didn't affect it much, really. So it was good.
Yeah, you had your teammate Jaime with a strong run tonight. It's going to be hard, like Brad said, to keep it clean through, like you said, to keep it clean next week. But how do you think? I mean, those last couple laps were a little ragged for both you guys. You think you can manage full distance? Keeping it together, or is it going to be tricky?
It's gonna be tricky, especially when you got a guy like Alex, you know, behind you or in front of you. When I was behind him, I figured I had to be close at the long straight in order to pass him, like I did on the second lap. So I had to push a lot, and you know, pushing that hard, it's very probably you're gonna make a mistake. So it's gonna be difficult, no doubt.
All right, well, Andre, congratulations on a great start to this season, and look forward to seeing you guys next week. Go at it all over again here.
Okay, thank you. I hope it's a good one.
Congrats, Andres.
Thanks, Fred.
Did he call you Fred?
I don't think so.
I could have sworn he called you Fred, but we'll let that one slide. All right.
Well, Curtis Chandler, looks like he has the last car running here, and he's going to be coming just through the last couple corners, and it's going to wrap it up for us this week. We had some broadcast challenges this week. No doubt we'll get that completely.
Hey, bottom line, yeah, we'll try and get it figured out by next week. Just be happy we brought you the pictures here tonight. And thanks, Brad, for coming through once again. And yeah, it's going to be, can't wait for next week. It's going to be a good one, Brad.
Yeah, it sure is. So definitely tune in for that upcoming race next Monday. And don't forget our exciting Assetto Corsa coverage coming up this Thursday in some capacity as that season kicks off as well. So we'll look forward to seeing all of you there. And thanks for tuning in, everybody. Welcome to Season 26.
Yep, AC Thursday night Super Pole from Sebring. It's going to be great. So hope you guys can tune in then. But thanks, Brad, for the coverage. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Have a good night.